Hello again, my DIY loving friends. I'm Sarah, and this is Medicated Housewife DIY, where crafting and mental health come together. We're starting 2025 off with a bang and some new Dollar Tree Tumbling Tower Block transformations. Get ready to transform those humble tumbling tower blocks into stunning high-end DIY masterpieces. New year, new you, and new DIYs. So what are we waiting for? Let's go DIY together. For this DIY, I'll be using 160 tumbling tower blocks from Dollar Tree. I'm placing them into 4 different sets: a set of 2 blocks, a set of 6 blocks, a set of 12 blocks, and a set of 20 blocks, as you see displayed here. I'm using super glue wood glue, also from Dollar Tree, to attach the blocks together into the 4 different block sets. Starting with the set of 2 blocks side to side. Then the set of 6 blocks, which consists of 2 rows of 3 blocks attached side to side. That's followed by the set of 12 blocks, which consists of 3 rows of 4 blocks that are attached side by side. And then the set of 20 blocks, which consists of 4 rows of 5 blocks that are also all attached side by side. Now I have 4 different sets, and I go ahead and make 3 more of each set. So I have 4 sets of 2 blocks, 4 sets of 6 blocks, 4 sets of 12 blocks, and 4 sets of 20 blocks, which equals 160 blocks, as you see here, in total used for this project. I made a mixture of hot water and lots of strong, cheap instant coffee to create a stain for 2 of my 4 sets of blocks. I start by staining all 4 of the 2 block sets using the instant coffee. I like to use coffee as a stain because it dries quickly and makes a nice, warm, but totally sheer wood tone. I use a dry paper towel to absorb the excess liquid and set the 4 sets of 2 coffee-stained blocks aside to dry. The second set I'm going to coffee stain is the 4 sets of 12 blocks, staining them the same way as I stained the 4 sets of 2 blocks. I'm leaving the other 2 sets, that's the sets of 6 and the sets of 20, the natural wood color. I'm doing this so I have a contrast in color between the different sets of blocks, as you will see. I take 2 of the natural color sets of 20 and attach them together in an L shape, as you can see here, and then set that aside to dry. I take the 2 remaining sets of 20 and attach them together also in an L shape and let both L shapes fully dry. Once both pieces are dry, I stand them both up and attach them together at the corners, as you see me doing here, and I give them some time to dry. Now, initially, I turned the large piece upside down with the side I wanted to use as the top now on the bottom. I attach the 12-piece set with the coffee stain to the bottom corner of one of my sides, and then attach the natural color 6-piece set to that. And then finally, the 2-block coffee stain set to that. And here you can see the light and dark contrasting colors. Then I flipped the whole thing over so the top is now on the top, and proceed to attach the stained and unstained pieces, alternating by color and size to each of the remaining 3 sides, the same way as the first side we did. So they are cascading in size order, largest to smallest, and alternating light and dark until all of my pieces are attached. And this is my tumbling tower block cascading candle holder? Or is it a plant stand? Or is it a narrow but tall riser? Let's not label it. I really like the 2-tone wood vibe going on, and personally, I like it for a nice large candle holder. There, I labeled it. A lovely neutral decor use for some Dollar Tree tumbling tower blocks. And for those of you keeping track on what's been going on, I have an Ellie Mae Pupdate. She has been resting comfortably since she horrifically broke her 2 front legs and had emergency surgery right after Christmas. Thank you all so much for your caring messages and support. I've had my hands full as she requires a lot more hands-on attention, and I'm doing my best to get back on track with more videos for all of you. And she's doing her best, trying to get around as best that she can, trying to walk. It's been a time. And Ellie and I both thank you all for your support. Now, back to crafting. For this DIY, I'm starting with this oval wood plaque from Dollar Tree, and I'm using a mixture of water and folk art antique wax, which I'll link for you below. I'm painting the entire plaque on both sides because we will be using the back of the plaque as the front for our purposes. I've also got these 4 wooden people that come in an assorted size pack from Amazon, and I will link them below. But you could also use the little wooden angels. They sell in a pack from Dollar Tree for this as well. I paint the 4 people with the same water and antique wax mixture as I did the plaque. Next, I'm using 56 total of those lovely brown Tumbling Tower blocks from Dollar Tree that we all love so much because, well, someone's got to do it, right? I start by placing 8 blocks around the edge of my plaque on their sides, spaced out as you see here, and I glue them in place, and that is our first row. I place the second row of blocks down on top of the first, also 8 blocks, each placed on top of the empty space between the blocks in that first row. That third row is going to be more of the same with 8 more blocks that are all placed above the empty space between the blocks in the second row. The 4th, the 5th, the 6th, and then finally the 7th rows are all placed the exact same way. They're all using 8 blocks, and with that, we've used a total of 56 of those brown Tumbling Tower blocks. Next, I have this extra thick jute I got on Amazon, and I'll link it for you below, but you could also use regular jute to do this too. I cut a whole bunch of pieces of the jute that are long enough to weave in and out of the rows of blocks from the bottom to the top. I'm using 3 pieces of jute for each weave, so I did cut quite a few pieces. I am starting with the lowest opening in the blocks at the bottom, and I use some hot glue to adhere the 3 pieces of jute to the inside of the hole, then take the 3 pieces and weave them over the block that's directly above the hole and into the next hole, and then out of the hole above that, and then over the block on top of that hole. I use some more glue to wrap the 3 pieces over the top block into the inside of our project, and then I'm going to trim the excess pieces on the inside. And this is a basic weave. We're going over and under the blocks, and I'm going to be doing this on every row of all of my blocks, all the way around that entire oval, doing my best to keep the 3 pieces of jute flat and smooth wherever possible, and then also doing my best to trim the excess hanging jute on the inside of my wood block oval. It's not perfect, but we will definitely try and fix all of this later. And to cover up some of those messy glue and jute pieces that are sticking up everywhere, I'm using a piece of this burlap roll I got on Amazon. I'll link it for you below, but you could also use the burlap ribbon in rows from Dollar Tree if you'd prefer. I cut a piece to fit inside, and I am hot gluing the top edge of the burlap to the top edge of my project, which lands just under the top inside edge of that 7th row of blocks, as you can see right here. Then to neaten up the burlap seam, I wrap 2 rows of the thick jute over the seam that's between the burlap and the top row of blocks. Did I need it? I don't know, but I did it anyway. Lastly, I turned the piece over and used some E6000 glue for stability to attach the 4 wooden people feet to the bottom of the oval to give my project some height. And this is my woven wood block basket, and honestly, I'm loving the dark wood with the woven jute. The burlap and the wood legs are just the icing on the cake for this high-end tumbling tower block DIY. Lots of bang for your buck, in my opinion, and I hope you love it too. For this DIY, the first thing we're doing is making one set of 8 of the brown tumbling tower blocks from Dollar Tree. I'm using super glue wood glue, also from Dollar Tree, to attach them. I make one set of 4 blocks that are 2 by 2 and then glue another set of 4 directly on top of that to create a set of 8, as you see right here. Next, I create a set of 12 of the brown tumbling tower blocks by attaching 6 blocks together side by side and then gluing 6 more blocks directly on top of them. So with the set of 8 and the set of 12, we have a total of 20 of the brown tumbling tower blocks used. Then I create 3 sets of 12 of the natural color tumbling tower blocks, the same as the set of 12 of the brown tumbling tower blocks that we just made. So that's a set of 6 attached side by side with 6 more blocks glued directly on top of them. And we're going to make 3 of those sets and put them aside to dry. Next, we create 3 more sets of 8 of the natural color tumbling tower blocks, also just like the set of 8 brown blocks we made. So that's 2 sets of 2 blocks side by side with 4 more blocks glued directly on top of them. And we are going to be making 3 of these 8 block sets as well. So altogether, we've used 20 brown blocks and 60 natural color blocks, 4 sets of 12 and 4 sets of 8. I take one set of 8 natural color blocks and one set of 12 natural color blocks, and I use some Folk Art Antique Wax mixed with water to stain the 2 sets on all sides a nice warm sheer brown color that contrasts with the existing dark brown tumbling tower blocks. I take a second set of 12 and a second set of 8 of those natural color blocks, and these I'm painting using a mixture of water and white chalk paint to create a whitewash effect on those 2 sets with some wood grain showing through. For the last set of 8 natural blocks and the last set of 12 natural blocks, I make a brownish red stain using some water mixed with apple barrel, barn red, and brown oxide, both of which I will link for you below, giving the 2 final sets of blocks a nice sheer brownish red tone with the wood grain still showing through. To assemble the piece, I attach the 12 block red tone set to the light brown 12 block set, just like you see here in an L shape, and I attach the dark brown 12 block set to the whitewashed 12 block set, also in that same L shape as you see me doing right here. I attach those 2 L-shaped pieces together at the corners as you are watching me do here. And you can also pause or slow down or even replay the video if you need to see some parts of it again. I glue the wide side of the dark brown 8 block set to the red toned 12 block set. I attach the whitewashed 8 block set to the light brown 12 block set. I take the red toned 8 block set and glue it to the dark brown 12 block set. And lastly, I attach the light brown 8 block set to the whitewashed 12 block set. And this is my color block tumbling tower block riser or candle holder, or again, small plant stand. You can decide that for yourself. I like the washed out multicolors of the wood. It's a small piece of decor with a bigger personality, in my opinion anyway, and super easy to make. And wow, what a creative journey we've had today. I hope you're as excited as I am to kickstart 2025 with these fabulous tumbling tower block DIYs. Let me know in the comments which DIY was your favorite and why. You know I love hearing from all of you. Remember, crafting is the best therapy and there's no limit to what you can create. If you love these ideas, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and join our crafty community. Thanks so much for watching. Until next time, remember that together, we're making the world a more beautiful place, one DIY at a time.